overdid it. Now, everybody that tunes in and watches this channel knows that I keep up quite a grind, man. I keep up a serious grind on this channel. And, man, I was doing great work, doing great demos. Now, I've got Ace down here wanting to get on camera, but this is serious. Ace, come here. I'm in a lot of pain. I self-diagnosed that I have bursitis in this shoulder. And repetitive motion has not been my friend, okay? And I first felt the pain when I was working on one of my demos, the Soldano demo. I was putting together the track and I was actually playing bass. And look, one thing that as older musicians, one problem that we have is playing downstrokes. It gets to I started noticing about 7 years ago that playing consecutive downstrokes and keeping them in time is something that all of a sudden seemed like it went away, right? Well, I don't play in a Ramones cover band, so I figured I'm okay as long as I don't, have to play in, any, heavy rock act or whatever. I was still able to do everything that I normally do and play whatever I normally played, right? But I started working on a, Van Halen style track, to demo for the channel. And picked up the bass, to play bass. And just to get the vibe of the track that I was doing, I started playing all downstrokes on the bass, right? And it was a simple enough bass part. We're not talking anything complex. We're not talking any tendons in the hands or anything like that. But I was just digging in with my right hand with a pick. I was playing picked bass. And I was playing all downstrokes. And I could feel this muscle right here. I could feel it tightening up. I could feel some pain. But I was almost through the take, maybe second or third take on bass, and I was nailing it. So, but I could feel it starting to feel like I was gonna lag and all that. So I pushed through it. Now that combined with this right arm propels my family every day in everything that I do. And it's a constant something. I mean, you don't realize how much you use your right arm until, man, it basically feels like at the point right now where I can't use it. It's, I woke up last night. Now Ace wants to get in the camera, but you've got to calm down. When I laid down last night, look, first of all, I self-diagnosed. And I know people are going to say, go to the doctor. I am not going to bankrupt my family by going and getting a bunch of tests. And here's the reality. Bursitis, there is no cure for that. There is no cure. Yes, they might give me a cortisone or cortisoid injection, and that could come with its own problems. So before you say, everybody, go get it checked out, I'm not gonna do that, and I'll tell you why. Lately, we've had family members and friends and stuff that have had problems. They end up going in, and it's hundreds of thousands of dollars, and all this, and I'm not going to do that to my family. I'm not going to do that to them. So what I am going to do is I determined what it was, because it's a slow, dull ache, right? And I have limited motion in this arm, and it's very painful. Last night it was really flaring up to the point where I barely got any sleep last night. Now, I know that am only to sleep on the good side or on my back. So I had trouble last night because I'm one person that likes to flip over, from side to side at night. And I was in so much pain last night that I was almost nauseous. And I took a couple of aspirin. I took some magnesium. That's good for muscle recovery. My wife had some muscle recovery gummies or something. I took a couple of those. I did the basics that you could do at home. And I iced the shoulder. I even got up in the middle of the night and put the ice back on it. And I just have to tough it out. I still have, here's the thing. I've got a bunch of footage in the can, playing clips and different stuff. So I'll be able to put out more, playing videos. I am going to take a break from currently shooting any playing clips. I'm going to give this some time to heal. I'm going to take care of it, and I'm going to do the best I can. I still have to, like today, I got to take my daughter to school. I got to help her get ready for school and, help out around the house. But I'm definitely going to slow down a lot. And I fortunately have, as we know on this channel, I've got a bunch of videos in the queue that I can release. I've also got videos that I'm working on currently that are in the can that have not been uploaded. I also just got a hold of a ton of archival footage that I'm going to be working on videos for. So I will continue on. I'm not going to, look, here's the thing. Maybe the reason why I bared down and I started really pushing, I had my time as far as the schedule of when I did things started changing with my daughter, having to take her to school and stuff like that. And then I would have this window where I could crank it up in here and work on the music. And it's important that I try to put my best foot forward playing wise. I've had to in the past many times just let things fly, and I still do to a certain extent. But it's also important that I improve. But this is a setback, and in life we have setbacks, right? I've had times where I needed to go play and make the money, and maybe one of my fingers was sliced open, and I just had to go play as best I could with the fingers that weren't sliced open. I've had played gigs with sprained ankles, and I've had to limp into the venue carrying my amp and my guitar and my pedal board and try and get through the show. And that's the tough thing about this. That's the tough thing about being a musician. You have to perform, right? You have to do everything you can to keep going. And I think the positive momentum that I've seen on this channel and seeing where it's headed and getting some great opportunities that I'm incredibly thankful for to demo products, that made me really put my nose to the grindstone. But I also have to remember that I am of a certain age. So sometimes I will have to slow down. Sometimes I may have to take breaks. And here's the great thing about this channel. This topic right here, that's happening, that I'm dealing with right now. It's a great topic for a video, right? What do you do? What do you do? Bursitis is something that can happen to any of your joints. I've read more about it in the last, 8 hours than anything. I know that rest, ice, elevation, those are the most common treatments for it. And you know what? I don't suggest anybody takes the path that I take. That you don't go to a doctor and all that. I don't recommend that. But it's the path that I'm choosing to go forward, and hope people respect that. I'm gonna try to get something that I can, a sling or something that can rest my arm part of the day and remember to use my left hand now, which is difficult, man. All of a sudden trying to put your shoes on with just your left hand, trying to brush your teeth with your left hand. I need a shave, but maybe that'll wait, or maybe I'll try to do it with my left hand. It's a challenge, man. And it's a challenge probably a lot of people out there face. Now look, when I was on the road, I all of a sudden got tennis elbow from so much movement in the arms, and all of a sudden I had this pain there. And that's something that went away with time. Once I got off the road and I didn't have to play 5 nights a week, and I was able to let my body rest and recover, then I was fine. I haven't had it since. And I'm hoping that I can do similar with this. I am going to have to play at some point. And I do have products that I need to demo. Although, thankfully, I got all the Synergy demos already done. So this Saturday, depending on when I release this video, I've got the Z-Rec video, that's already done. I've got the Soldano video, it's already done, it's in the can. I've got other playing videos that I've done that I haven't even, maybe all I need to do is do the talking part, and then put the, splice it together, and boom, it's done. So it's not gonna stop me. It is gonna slow me down. It's gonna put a limp in my walk, right? I'm gonna be a pimp with a limp. And man, this is part of getting old. This is part of being a musician. And this is why I do this channel, to tell, if there's any young people out there tuning in, man, hey dude, you're gonna have to play when you're sick. You're gonna have to play when you're hurt. You're gonna have to play when you're heartbroken. You're gonna have to play when you just don't feel like it anymore. That's the tough thing about being a musician. Nobody really, people will go, oh man, I'm really sorry to hear that. I mean, I remember when I had my sprained ankle, I limped into the venue, pulling my dolly with my amp and all that. And, I remember one show, I was allowed to sit in a chair and play the show. But you know what? End of the show, I limped out of the venue and limped to my car and drove on my bad ankle back to the house. Limped back into my house, limped my gear back into the house. And that's the tough part about being a musician, man. Basically, they need you to do your job, and you got to keep going. My family needs me to, carry my load, and I've carried a lot of it. I've carried a lot of it with this right arm, and man, it's tough. It's tough when you realize you're not Superman. We're not Superman anymore. And that's a really tough thing. But man, I want to thank everybody that supports this channel, and know that I'm going to keep on this grind, but it's going to be altered a little bit. If I don't play any guitar on my lives, man, that's just going to be the way it is, maybe for a little while. And hopefully everybody understands. And tough, man. It's tough, but you know what? I know there's a lot of other people dealing with a lot tougher things, right? So we just have to be strong. We have to be smart, and we have to keep moving forward.